Hello and welcome back to Forza Motorsport 7 with a bit of a challenge. Now, when it comes to Formula Drift, or any drift for that matter, you want a vehicle like this GTR. Rear-wheel drive, lots of power, and of course a very big body kit, because everybody has to have a big body kit in Formula Drift apparently. I hear it's in the rulebook, so it is pretty much the perfect car for drifting, and yeah, you can see it's very easy to drift. I will be honest, I'm not the best drifter, but yeah, it's pretty darn good to drift for building it in a couple of minutes and shoving it up and walking to line for a little bit. And I wanted to build my own Formula Drift car, and well, I couldn't be sensible because that's boring. The cliche option is, oh, everybody get a 240Z or a Sylvia or all that crap that no one really cares about, or no one should care about, because it's so cliche. No, I'm going to pick something completely random, and it should never work in the history of drifting. I'm talking, of course, the Audi Q7 TDI Not So Clean Diesel. This massive SUV, it is a V12, and it's really slow. I say it's really slow. It's a C-Class car. It is very heavy. It weighs over 2 tons. It's all-wheel drive. It's, well, the exact opposite of what a drift car is. And it comes in beige. No drift car in the history of the world has ever been beige. So, it was clear I had to do a bit of work. And what I did is, I rear-wheel drive swapped it. This is the stock engine. And as you can see, it's working rather well. At least in the visual sense, it's working rather well. It doesn't get very many points, this version. And I picked this car. It does actually have a body kit. Look it up. This is indeed a body kit SUV. You can see it right there. That body kit. There we go. And it's got a big wing. Those are the 2 requirements, as we stated previous. And it actually slides around and makes a pretty decent smoke screen. It's not very easy to control, and it has about 850, 900 horsepower from the stock V12, which isn't that bad for a big old SUV. And I managed to get it down from over 5,000 pounds to 4,000 pounds, which is extremely heavy. It's twice the weight of some Formula Drift cars. And the one big problem wasn't so much the weight or the control, it was the engine. More specifically, it's redline. It redlined at 5,500 RPM, which isn't really enough. You have to drift really high in the redline, and it wants to get that speed, and it just can't get it with this car. It doesn't have that same agility as a very high revving car. And yeah, it just wasn't working as well as I hoped it to. I say it's all I hoped to. It was working better than expected, but once I started drifting it and I realized the problems, it wasn't quite up to standard. And yeah, I realized I'd have to go back to the drawing board and tinker with it a little bit. Alright, now you might be able to hear the difference. This is one of the engine swaps this vehicle can have. Yes, the Ferrari Enzo 6-liter V12. It is still a V12 in this car, not the NASCAR V8. I did not opt for that. No, this is indeed a twin turbocharged V12 producing 1,003 horsepower, because they want to go the full 1,200. 1,000 seemed pretty nice, you know? Yeah, it is quite surprising. I looked it up. Well, you can download this tune that I have on here. It's my gamer tag, and then just drift tune with this car. And I haven't been able to find any other drift tunes for this vehicle. There's a lot of racing tunes, but there's no drift tunes, so I think I'm the first person to drift this car, at the very least save a tune for it. So, Yeah, I wonder why. Because it's actually a pretty darn good drift car. I was very pleased with this result. It's not perfect, I'm an okay drifter, and it is a bit of a challenge to not spin it, because you can get it right, but if you get it just a little bit wrong, it does absolutely spin on you, and that's probably because of the weight. The Enzo V12 did save some weight, and it saved about 300 pounds actually, but it is still 4,000 pounds, still 2 tons of vehicle to be sliding around. And I think it's doing a pretty darn good job. Now, the original one was on Sport Tires, the other paint job. I did 2 different paint jobs to differentiate the two. So the first paint job, that was on Sport Tires. This one is on Street Tires. So it just gives you less grip and more power. And you can see the very sidewaysness of it. It does love to be very sideways. And yeah, I was impressed on how well it was working. Because it really shouldn't be working. And yeah, now I did have to stiffen up a lot. I slammed it down as much as possible. I didn't do anything with the gear ratios, didn't do anything with the air pressure or anything like that. I don't know how to do that. My logic was stiffen it up as much as possible. It shouldn't rock about that way. And I think it worked. I think it worked rather well. Because, I mean, it's making a smoke screen, it's got the wing, it's got the body kit, it's powerful, it can pull off mega angle. And, yeah, I was very pleased. But the only thing left to do at this point was to take it to an online public drift lobby. Because that can only go well. And here you can see the potential. Yeah, it's a pretty nice car, But yeah, public drift lobbies do terrify me because people are idiots. But I still gave it a bit of a go. And now, the first and only track we would be on is Maple Valley Reverse, but this is the full circuit. Yeah, funny story. Half of all the tracks I went on today were at Maple Valley when I recorded these. And as you can see, there are plenty of Sylvias, more Sylvias, more Sylvias. And I was the only SUV there, unsurprisingly. There were a few muscle cars. But look at this, we're actually like doing proper drifts. And, in fact, since I crash on the first corner, as they always do, the Audi Q7 Enzo V12 Hybrid was actually winning. It was actually in first place for drift points, and because I didn't crash and deposited them like an intelligent person. I mean, that's not I'm pretty sure there were many people visibly angry that a Audi Q7 diesel was outdrifting Nissan Silvias and Datsun 240s. Yeah, there are many angry people. But the Q7 was doing well. It was holding drifts, it was holding a good 20-30k at one point, unlike Mr. Sylvia up there, who crashed into me mid-drift, and then I go for a roll. And the camera gets very confused as what to do as all of the drift cars come flying past. And then my Audi, very damaged Audi, gets back on the move. Yeah, there were a few casualties along the way. I did not do well in the end of this solely because I had another rolling incident later on, but my very crinkly Q7 was doing very well. I think it ended up getting 11th, which isn't bad for my first drift lobby ever. This is my first drift lobby ever, and I am doing better than a Mazda RX-7 and a Ford Mustang. That's not a result that I was expecting. I was expecting I'd do a little more tweaking with it, maybe a little bit of work, but no, it was doing very well. It was doing very well. And, yeah, eventually I would fall down to 11th, losing a 30k skill point because I clipped someone and rolled over. But, yeah, it was a very rolly round, the first one, but very good fun, actually. For this next one, I happened to be put in Maple Valley again. And, this one was in the rain, so I did put sport tires on, expecting it to rain. It didn't rain, but despite this, once again, the Audi Q7 was leading the way, both literally around the track and in the points. And, yeah, I'm pretty sure there were very many angry people, because this is a different lobby, but it was strange. It was strange. It was a very strange sight. But it was doing well. It was doing very well. And this battle, if you will, for the lead in points, continued on for the entire 8-minute race. I did get a little lost. I was expecting to go up the other ramp, then I realized at the last second, panicked, slammed on the brakes, and almost hit the wall, but I kept my points. Which just shows you that this vehicle is actually relatively forgiving, because I went the wrong way on the race. I got the James May Award. Yeah, that was surprising. And this is a very fast drift car. You have to go very, very fast on this. It doesn't really work in the slows because it's too heavy. So you had to keep your speed up, which is fine. You can see the rain, in air quotes, turn into very heavy fog. So my sport tires were useless, but didn't really matter because I actually got a better finishing position, mainly because since I started in the front row and ran away with it, I didn't have any problems with traffic until the last 30 seconds of the match. And can I just say the last 30 seconds were probably one of the closest bits of racing I've ever had, surprisingly, because I was in third, then I was in fourth, then I was in fifth, then I went back to third, then I went back to fourth, then I went back to third, then I went back to second, went up to first, went back to fifth, all in the span of 30 seconds. And in the last 5 seconds, I was in third. And I saw the other guy was only 200 points behind me. So I chucked it in as fast as I bloody could. Almost went in the pit lane on this one, by the way. Yeah, turned well to around that one. But anyway, I chucked it in as fast as I could, and it just snapped on me. Lost like 5,000 points, took me down from third to fifth on the last 3 seconds. It was so close. But the point I want to draw from this is that an Audi Q7 was weighing 2 tons, was beating Nissan Silvias, Mustangs, 240s, RX-7s, I mean, GTR. It was beating everything. It was in contention for the lead for 8 minutes of the 8-minute race. And so, for the first time in a long time, I think my ambitious idea has actually been 100% successful. So, yeah. Who would have thunk? But, there you go. I am very pleased. This is probably one of my favorite cars I've ever built now. Because it's so freaking stupid, and yet it's one of the best ones, like the most successful ones I've ever built for a specific job. I love it. It's a fantastic car. I will, again, just search up my name in the Audi Q7 for the tunes. You'll find this. It takes a bit of time to get used to it, but it's a very good car once you do get used to it. So I shall leave you with a sideways Q7. And that's going to be it for this episode of Forza Motorsport. So I'll be back with more